Tonight's class began with discussing birthdays. It's my birthday tonight, so we spoke all about the significance of a Jewish birthday. Hope it's enlightening. Please feel free to subscribe and to share it with someone that this would be meaningful for. All right, we are recording, and as being my birthday, I wanted to talk about birthdays. And as I just said to Miriam, Rosh Hashanah, which is coming up in 25 days, is the birthday of our people, the birthday of the Jewish people. Every year, your Jewish birthday is your personal Rosh Hashanah. It's not the rest of the world, but it's yours. The birthday is the day when your soul entered the world. And it was very precise when your soul entered the world, meaning nothing is random. I can think of it so many times when I'm like calculating when my baby needs to be born for my convenience, for my scheduling. After I don't know how many babies, I sort of realize I should just leave it in God's very good hands. It's very precise. The month your soul entered this world is your soul's month. The date and the day of the week, they all impact your soul's journey. They're all reflective of the journey. So I said to Romella that she was born on a Saturday night because her mother remembers it was a beautiful night when she was born. And from the Jewish perspective, Saturday night is Sunday. So it says in the Talmud, it goes through the days of the week. And it says, and this is why I said to Romella, wow, powerful, that people born on Sunday are leaders. That's in your destiny. Whatever you're doing with it, a person born on a Sunday is a leader. From all my children, I have only one born on a Sunday, and that is Doper. So I'm like, okay, that's it. He's going to be a leader. That's the destiny. That's why his soul came into this world on a Sunday. It says people born on Monday. This is sort of good to know if you think about your children. Now, again, also remember, if you're thinking about people you know, your children, etc., that just as I said to Romella, the Jewish day starts the night before, just like Shabbos starts Friday night. So Monday means Sunday night and Monday. Tuesday means Monday night and Tuesday. So it says someone born on a Monday is angry. Someone born on a Tuesday is going to be rich and by nature will go after his pleasures. Someone born on a Wednesday, as I said, Miriam was born on a Wednesday. Wednesday means wise and luminous, special luminous nature, as I've seen with all my Wednesday. Thursday is kindness. That's the nature of a person born on Thursday, to do kindness. Friday, again, which would be Thursday night or Friday, is someone who runs after doing good deeds, after the commandments, after the mitzvot. And it says that someone born on Shabbos will pass away on Shabbos. I have a few Shabbos babies. So that's just showing, that's a very interesting piece of the Talmud that just shows us how significant it is, every single aspect of our birth, including literally the day of the week we were born. That's saying something about our journey. Now, on a birthday, what's the work of a birthday? A lot. As we said, it's Rosh Hashanah. It's going to be a busy day for me. But it's a day to feel grateful. To feel grateful for the gift of life, right? That's the day we stop and we can appreciate the gift of being born. It's the day that I was given the mandate to change the world. We were born. The world is a different place because we're in it. Every one of us came into this world. In a sense, we all came with the same mission, the mission to make this world God's home, to bring the redemption. So when my soul entered the world on the 5th of Elul in the 60s, my soul was given a job. My soul's triptych to how I'm supposed to make the world a more beautiful place, how I'm supposed to bring Mashiach, how I'm supposed to change the world. And that's true for each one of us. So as we know, in Jewish thought, time spiral, meaning annually on the anniversary of any momentous event, we can tap into the same spiritual energies that originally caused the event. So when we were born, when any of us were born, when all of us were born, God invested within the soul enormous energy, what we call mazal, right? We say to a person, mazal tov. What mazal? Mazal is actually a very significant level of godly energy. And the mazal is shining at its fullest strength the moment we're born. And that same energy, that same mazal is present again every year on the anniversary of that day. And that's why on your birthday, you can accomplish what would be more challenging on another day, more difficult, but all your mazal is shining. So that's why even as women, and what difference does it make? We can, throw a party for ourselves on our secular birthdays. But no, on your secular birthday, you don't have that mazal shining. You don't have all that energy, but you have it every single year on your Jewish. It's an amazing concept, just thinking how when we came into the world, or if it's easier to think of a child of yours, when that baby was born, his or her mazal was shining. And every year on his or her birthday, that mazal is shining. And that's why there's a custom to bless people on your birthday, because you have special spiritual power. And it's good to know. Of course, it's also a day when people give you good wishes, but it's because it's your birthday. So people give you, oh, happy birthday, you should have a wonderful year. And that's wonderful, and that's good, and that's very appropriate. But it's also a great day to bless others. It's a great day to celebrate. It's a great day to thank God for being born, for the greatest, most priceless gift, which is the gift of life. Now, of course, we thank God every day for that gift. It's not just a once a year. You should stop and say, oh, God, thanks. I appreciate life. Or you're just in a near fatal, God forbid, situation. Oh, God, thank you for life. We appreciate life when it seems like it's slipping away. Every single day, we thank God for life. But on our birthday, it's a heightened expression of gratitude. Just like Rosh Hashanah, you feel it more. So your personal Rosh Hashanah, your birthday, it's a heightened sense of, wow, thank you, God, for the gift, for this gift of life. There's a story, the man named Nahum Stillerman. I might have told this story before because I think it's really cool. I really like the point. But he grew up, he was not a 60s baby. He was a 50s baby. So he grew up in the neighborhood of Crown Heights in the 50s. Very interesting life, lots of interesting vignettes with Lubavitcher Rebbe. His father was actually opened up the first kosher grocery in all of Brooklyn, if you can imagine. And it was considered are you really going to survive a kosher grocery? Closed on Saturday, the busiest day of the week for a grocery store. And of course, in those days, everyone had to be closed on Sunday. So closed on Saturday. Do you remember that? When I was a kid, everything had to be closed on Sunday. So closed on Saturday by God, closed on Sunday by the state. How in the world are you going to survive? And quite a number of other people decide to join the business. But anyway, this Nahum, since his father had this kosher grocery store, he was a delivery boy, and he'd wake up very early and deliver to all the neighbors, all the people in the Crown Heights neighborhood. And in those days, Crown Heights was a central hub for a lot of religious Jews and not religious Jews in those days. And one of his regular customers was Lubavitcher Rebbe's mother, Rebbetzin Chana. And over many years of delivering her groceries once a week, every week for many years, he became very close to the Rebbetzin. He felt she was like a grandmother figure to him, a very warm, loving woman, very gracious, would always come in, give him a cup of cold milk in the summer, warm milk in the winter, a very gracious, loving bubby. And at this point, he was at his last year of high school, maybe 17-year-old, 18-year-old, he was going off to college. And he was thinking, when he goes off to college, he's not going to have so much time to pray. And he knows he has to pray, but he's not going to be able to pray properly. So he thought, I want to just have one prayer that I'm going to focus on, because I know I'm not going to focus on everything. So let me pick one prayer. So since he had this great connection, he asked the Rebbe's mother, Rebbetzin Chana, can you ask your son for me? What's his favorite prayer? Because I just focus on one prayer. I'll say them all, but I'm going to zip through them. I want to just focus on one. What's his favorite prayer? Very interesting question. Yeah, it makes sense. A favorite prayer. I have no clue. I'll ask him. A week later, he comes to deliver her groceries. And she says, yeah, sit down. I asked my son. So what's his favorite prayer? His favorite prayer is Modeh Ani. Modeh Ani, you know what we say in the morning when we just wake up. Modeh Ani l'fanecha melech chai v'kayim start to be nishmasi chemlet rav u'nesacha. 12 words. That's the prayer. That's his favorite prayer. She said, yeah. I asked him what his favorite prayer is. I told him he wanted to know, and that's what he said. He's like, okay. I mean, you know, it's easier than if the Rebbe had said Shemona Esrei or something like that. It's probably the shortest prayer we have. And most of us don't think of it as, you know, a prayer like that. But if the Lubavitcher Rebbe said it's his favorite prayer, it's good enough for Lubavitcher Rebbe. It's good enough for Nachum. To interrupt the story, does anyone here have a favorite prayer? A prayer they specifically relate to?
A favorite Tehillim, does that count?
Yeah. Which one's your favorite?
121.
One of my favorite as well. Yes.
121.
I find certain pasukim jump out at me. Like I love the pasuk within when we're davening Ashrei, although when it's Tehillim, then it's not exactly just Ashrei. Karov Hashem l'chol kara'av asher yikrov ha'emes. I love that pasuk.
Pasuk says, Karov Hashem l'chol kara'av. God is close to all who call him. L'chol asher yikrov ha'emes, to all who call him in truth. And we're told that truth means Torah. So God is the closest to those that call out to him through Torah. And it's very interesting because all of Torah is considered like God's names. So when you're studying the Torah, when you're learning it, it's like you're calling to God by his name. When you pray, you're saying, Father, Father, please answer me. But when you're saying it through Torah, it's like his specific name. So you're really pulling on him. And one of my students once said to me when we were discussing this, she said, wow, that's the power of Tehillim. Because Tehillim, as Yael was just saying, is the Jewish people use as a prayer, as our most favorite prayer book. But Tehillim is Torah. It's one of the 24 books of Tanakh, of Torah. So it has this enormous power of all the advantages of calling out in prayer and all the advantages of calling out in Torah. But I agree with you, Elise. I have paragraphs that I relate to. I have words that I relate to. I definitely have Tehillim that I relate to. Anyone else has something that really resonates with them when they pray or when they say Tehillim?
Yes. After Aleinu, when you say Al Tira Mipacha Pitom, I love that. And also during Shemona Esrei, Shema Kolenu. I don't know. It just, you're able to insert all the,
Everything.
You ask Hashem. Yeah, basically.
Everything. We insert everything. We just, this is the time. Like, I talk to God all day long. I'm sure most of us do. But this is the official time. So this is very special, very precious. So that's really beautiful. A lot of people just naturally know what they really relate to. And I definitely find pieces of prayer that I really relate to. And you can sometimes explain why. And sometimes you can't. You just say, I don't know. For whatever reason, these words are meaningful to me. It's wonderful. A lot of people say, wow, that's cool. You know what you're saying when you pray. I wish I did. It's really good when you pray, taking, upgrading to pray occasionally, at least with the English Hebrew prayer book, English Hebrew Siddur, and glance at the English. You don't have to know the translation of every word, but just so you know what you're saying. Because when you know what you're saying, it's easier to say it meaningfully. Of course, if you don't know what you're saying, it's still great to pray. And I say to God all the time, take my prayers as if I knew what I was talking about. But I do know the translation, but that's not all I'm talking about when I pray. Every word is saturated with layers and layers of meaning, which I'm clueless of. But God, take my prayers as if I knew all the Kabbalistic, mystical secrets. And he does. When we think like that, that's infuses our prayers. So the Rebbe's prayer was Modeh Ani. So this Nachum goes off to college and he's really happy. He got a real easy prayer to focus on. And he says about a year later, he was back in Karnais. I mean, that's where he lives. And he was by a gathering, what we call a Farbrengen, a Hasidic gathering of the Rebbe. And the Rebbe happened, there's no such thing as happened, but so to speak, happened when Nachum was at the Farbrengen to talk about the power of Modeh Ani. And the Rebbe said, the message of this prayer is that God has a lot of faith in us. So we don't want to disappoint him. How do we know he has a lot of faith in us? Because he gave us another day of life. He doesn't owe it to us. He doesn't have to do it. But he gave us another day. So we should live up to his trust and not disappoint him. And this Nachum personally said about himself that became his life's goal. Again, he had this, unlike everyone else in the room, he knew the Rebbe was talking about his favorite prayer. And now he knew why. Probably for a year he was wondering. So it was very meaningful to him to hear this explanation on the Rebbe of the power of that simple line that was our first opening words to God. Thank you for the gift of life. Thank you for having faith in me. Thank you for trusting me for one more day. I don't want to disappoint you. And that's what he said. He said for the rest of his life, he had this focus. I don't want to disappoint God. I want to accomplish. Imagine that as a goal when you wake up in the morning. And of course, the first words we're supposed to say are the Modeh Ani prayer. It's 12 words. Imagine the goal is not to disappoint God for trusting us with another day. I don't know if anyone could envision that and think, how would my day be different if that was my focus? And any thoughts? Like if I really woke up with this ready, set, charge, God, you gave me a gift. It's called life, and I don't want to disappoint you. I want to use it well. Any thoughts on how you would do anything different because of that? For me, I wouldn't want to waste the time. I wouldn't want to space out. I would want to use the minutes because my gosh, these minutes are so precious. I don't want to waste them. I'm just like, what? Where did I let my mind wander to? How did all that time just pass?